You clicked on this video, you know you have a problem. The first thing you do in the morning is checking your phone. You're waiting for the bus and you scroll on Instagram for a bit, and you can't even enjoy food without watching a YouTube video anymore. Does this sound familiar? Well, that's because the average American spends 4.5 hours looking at their phone every single day. And most of the time is spent on social media. Now, I'm not here to tell you to quit social media forever. In fact, for most people, deleting social media is not even the best option. A big part of our social life happens on our phones, and we genuinely have fun sharing memes with friends. But we also need effective mechanisms in place that would prevent us from wasting our lives on our phones. So in this video, I'm going to show you the one system you need to stop being glued at your phone and actually start living. Can you remember the last time you told yourself, tomorrow is going to be the day that I change my life? Only to wake up the next day, reach for your phone, and waste yet another day scrolling through social media. And honestly, it's not entirely your fault. Every app on your phone is designed to keep you hooked. Tech companies fight for your attention and know exactly how to make their platforms as engaging as possible. Because the longer you're on, the better it is for them. Believe it or not, a few years back, I quit social media completely for over a year. I suddenly had a lot of free time to study, read, secure a job, and still have a great social life. But eventually, I wanted to start creating content online and had to install social media again. And with this, I went back to my old patterns, spending way too much time on my phone. In fact, if you're sitting there thinking you don't have a problem, I suggest you to check out your usage statistics on your phone settings right now. You can't really complain about not having time to do stuff when you have the data right in front of you. If you think you don't have enough hours in the day to do the things that are important to you, reducing your phone usage can be one of, if not the best, change that you can make to improve your life. But before we dive into the system that I'm going to teach you in this video, there's something you should think about. And that is, what are you going to do with all that free time? You might think this is silly, but I can tell you right now, once you start controlling your phone usage, the first thing you're going to feel is this huge sense of boredom. You'll find yourself with a lot of free time all of a sudden, and it certainly felt weird to me at the start. So in order to make things easier for you, I want you to think about what you're planning to do with those extra hours in your day. Try to think about those things you've always wanted to do, but you never actually had time to do. Maybe you want to learn a new language, start a blog, go to the gym, take up painting, or finally start that side project you always dreamed of doing. The key is to have a plan so you're not left feeling lost when you suddenly have all this extra time on your hands. Take a few minutes right now and jot down a list of things that you'd like to do in those moments where boredom strikes. Be specific. Instead of just writing exercise more, write something like go for a 30-minute run 3 times a week, or join a yoga class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The more detailed your plan, the easier it will be to follow through. Remember, this isn't about filling every single minute of your day with productive activities. The point is that you're making an active choice about how you choose to spend your time, instead of just mindlessly scrolling on your phone. By planning ahead like this, you're setting yourself up for success. You're not just reducing your phone usage, but you're also replacing it with activities that are meaningful to you. This way, you can make the most of those extra hours and truly upgrade your life. Now, the best way to break your phone addiction is to never rely on best intentions, but to rely on systems. This is something I learned early on as an engineer. You want to make sure that you have systems in place that prevents bugs from going into production. You want the same thing for your phone usage. You might tell yourself, yeah, today I'm not going to use my phone. But then when you're tired at night, you say, okay, let me just scroll on TikTok for 15 minutes. There surely can't be anything wrong about scrolling on social media for 15 minutes, right? But then if you don't have systems in place, those 15 minutes can easily turn into an hour. On the other hand, a system will literally prevent you from going on your phone for over a set amount of time. It doesn't matter how you're feeling that day. The system will make sure that you actually stick to it. The system that I use and that has genuinely changed my life for the better is an app called Opal. Now, I know this is gonna sound like an ad, but I promise you it's not. I have no affiliation to Opal. They're not paying me any money to talk about their app. And even though I wish they were sponsoring this video, they're not. This is just my very honest opinion on the app. I found Opal earlier this year, but I was reluctant to try it out. After all, you can block apps using your phone settings, right? So I thought I didn't really need anything external. I decided to try and limit social media apps using my default phone settings. But once I hit the limit, I would press skip again, and again. So it was completely useless. There's a bunch of benefits that I've found by using Opal over the regular phone limits. First, in Opal there's a deep focus mode where you can't skip the limits. And there's an even crazier mode in the settings that you can activate, which won't allow you to uninstall Opal or change the time and date on your phone. So it's almost impossible to overcome these limits. The second benefit is that it lets you customize different session blocks. So for example, I have two main blocks, one that starts at 10 p.m. and ends at 10 a.m., which prevents me to go on my phone before bed and also first thing in the morning, which has really helped me start my mornings in a more relaxed mindset. And another block for working hours. I much rather spend my coffee breaks chatting to a colleague rather than staring at another screen. Besides that, I have a time limit of 30 minutes a day to use social media, which means I can only go on social media from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. for a maximum of 30 minutes. I can't tell you how big of a difference this has made. And for the weekends, I have an entirely different setup where I let myself indulge for a full hour of scrolling. This is just my setup, but you can customize it to your own needs and preferences. For example, if you find yourself checking your work email or Slack messages outside working hours, you can limit those instead. And Opal also has a desktop app where you can set up blocks for certain websites you wish to limit. Now, Opal isn't the only screen time management app out there. And annoyingly, it's currently only available for iOS and Mac users. But the key takeaway here isn't about using Opal specifically. It's about finding an app that works for you and just give it a shot. I'll leave some alternative apps in the description down below in case you want to check them out. Look, it's totally fine to admit you need a little help. These apps and social media platforms are designed to be addictive, and it's not exactly fun to feel that your phone is running your life. I'm genuinely glad that I found a way to take back control. Opal has a free version that I used for quite a while, and it worked quite well to start the habit of reducing screen time. But after using it some time, I ended up paying for the yearly premium subscription because I wanted access to all the features it offers and also the deep focus mode that doesn't let you skip the limits. I'll be honest, I was skeptical about paying for an app like this, but after giving it some thought, paying $10 a month for potentially hundreds of hours of your life back sounds like a pretty good deal to me. But hey, maybe you have more willpower than me and don't need this kind of help. But for me, it's been a game changer, and I'm honestly so excited to have more hours in my day, and I hope this video helped you do the same. If you made it this far into this video, feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'm usually pretty active there and share live updates and more personal stuff as well. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.